Happy Mishmas. It is day 12. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Do you guys have any exciting plans? A holiday party, perhaps? Are you maybe going away? I think this is a really popular week to go away also, isn't it? Or this past week maybe? It's kind of like that like calm before the storm again between like Thanksgiving and Christmas / Hanukkah. Yeah, my husband and I, many years ago, we used to always kind of go away this week, kind of like between family gatherings to steel ourselves, to kind of recharge. Anyway, happy Friday. Today's coffee is a double espresso scuro, and I've already taken a sip. It is strong. This one's strong. And I think they recommend to drink it over, perfect for ice. Yeah, that would make sense. I probably should have diluted this one a little bit. Intensely roasted and cocoa. Intensity, 11 out of 12. Yeah, I will vouch for that. Let's see. 3 out of 5 for body bitterness and roastiness. 1 out of 5 for acidity. Made from Central American Robusta and Arabicas. Dark, smoky character, cocoa and vanilla. Optimal blend for coffee with milk or over ice. Yeah, they really want you to cut this or dilute it. It's good though. It's really good. That'll put hair on your chest. All right. Well, happy Friday. I actually have to get to the gym. I should have changed. I'm probably going to be late today. I should have changed before I came down. I'm just enjoying these Everyday pajamas so much. This like silky silk. They're so good. They're so good. All right, let me get going. I'm gonna get changed, make myself breakfast, get to the gym. Let's open up these advent calendars and I'll be back. Okay, day 12. I never know if 12 or 13 is like the halfway point. Well, I guess since this only goes to 24, we'll say 12 is the halfway point. So we're halfway through this advent calendar and Mishmas. Oh, I see Photo Bois. It's got that beautiful warm gray color to the wax. Yeah, Photo Bois. So this is the one that smells like a wood-burning fireplace or campfire. It's so perfect for this time of year, all year round if you're me. But yeah, I love this. And they have one of those giant indoor-outdoor candle versions of this scent, and the whole vessel is like a light gray, like ceramic. It's gorgeous. Okay, day 12. Oh my gosh, day 12 is the last day for this advent calendar. This was a half-C. All right. Day 12, we've got, get out of town, cashmere socks. As you guys know, I'm a hand knitter, and it's like probably one of the most popular things to like knit as a gift during the holiday season is cashmere socks. It really is like the most luxurious thing. You can't believe how soft they are until you put them on, and I love this color. Oh. So these are, 75% cashmere, nylon, rayon, lyocell, polyester, spandex, of course, because they have to stretch. Oh, amazing. Well, this was so fun. I loved this advent calendar. And it was so well done. And again, I can't tell you how much I appreciate like how the numbers are like easy to read. Oh, this was so great. Okay, day 12. For benefit, let's see, not there. Not there. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Ooh, this looks like a full size of, where are we? The 24-hour brow setter. Oh, nice. This is their brow gel. I believe this is untinted. Oh, good. I do love this. It comes, I'm not going to open it, but like the applicator is like a little comb. It's really nice. All right, guys. So I thought for today's video, we would just do a full Face of Dior, talk about like my favorites. And I was looking at last year's Mishmas videos, and I did like my top 10 Dior products. And I was like, do I really need to do this again? I love Dior. I love talking about Dior. Can't shut up about Dior. But they have come out with a lot of new products this past year, I was realizing, because my favorites, if I were to do a top 10, it definitely would have changed. But I'm just going to be talking about some things, let's say, that have been added to the list. So we'll just do a full face. We'll kind of make this a casual talk, but I'll be focusing on my favorites. I'm sure, because I can't shut up about Dior, I'm sure I'll be mentioning some of my not so favorites in there. So anyway, let's go ahead and start with some primer. Okay, as far as primers go, I really love this Forever Glow Veil. This has just the lightest like pearly sheen to it. I mean, it's so subtle, so subtle. It's very, I know it looks kind of pearly in the bottle, but it pretty much, you know, blends into your skin kind of clear. If you want something bolder, we've got the Star Filter. This is great. This is very, very similar. I think a little bit nicer, a little bit less thick, with a little bit less coverage, shall we say, than the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This I feel like has a little bit lighter touch. So this I like as a primer. The Glow Veil I like as primer. I feel like I use this a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Glow Veil. I am just going to squeeze some out. Yeah, you can see it has like a lotiony texture, and you can see it pretty much blends away to nothing, but you are left with a really subtle, really kind of beautiful glow. I have dry skin, I like a glow, I like a primer that's really, really moisturizing. So if you have similar skin to mine, I think you'll really enjoy this. And as for foundation, you guys know I can't shut up about their foundation stick. I think I'm gonna make the bold statement, but I'll definitely be making a video of like my all-time favorite makeup, you know, my best of 2025 or whatever. But my all-time favorite foundation has been like the Surratt Dewdrop foundation. This I think has overtaken it. I'm gonna have to sit down and really think about it, but this I think has overtaken it because I've just spent so much time with this foundation, especially this past year, because it is perfect for travel. Not just its form factor, because it's in a stick, you don't have to worry about it breaking or leaking or anything, but because it works in so many different climates. I don't feel like it behaves any differently here in the very like dry climate that I live in, or the very humid climates that I seem to traveled a lot to this past year, but like New York, Japan, Miami, it just works beautifully. So anyway, I go kind of between shades 1.5 and 2. I'm gonna go with 1.5. Looking pretty pale. And you can even tell, like, you guys know, I don't pan makeup very often. I have so much makeup, I'm constantly testing out different makeup. And this is really getting in there. Let me see how much I have left. Oh, I have quite a bit left. But yeah, I don't think I've ever used this much of one piece of makeup before. So just a little bit everywhere. This blends out like a dream. I like to use a brush. I think it just is the fastest, but look at how fast this blends out and how quickly it like perfects my complexion. It has such good coverage, but it doesn't look heavy, cakey. It doesn't fade throughout the day. The finish, I think, is just perfect for any skin type. It's not super oily. It's a really nice skin-like finish. It's just perfection. It's just so easy to use. It's like my little whoopee. I just like having this with me all the time. So that's the foundation stick. I'm gonna move on because I've talked about that incessantly. The next product I've also talked about incessantly. It is the Forever Skin Correct Concealer. You know, same thing in regards to the foundation stick. And in fact, before I really got into the habit of traveling with the foundation stick, I used to just travel with the concealer because I could kind of spot conceal all over my face, and that would be like my base. I wouldn't need a foundation. So I would travel with this and be like, well, it could kind of, you know, play double duty, like be a foundation, be a concealer, or whatever I needed it to be. But yeah, the foundation stick has definitely taken over the concealer in terms of like that one base product that I want to bring. But this is still just such a fantastic concealer. It's a great pairing to the foundation stick. It comes in like a huge bottle, big doe foot applicator, really easy to use, very creamy texture, and has great coverage, super great coverage, and doesn't look heavy at all. I'm just gonna use the same foundation brush. Blends out beautifully, easily. And just like the foundation stick, it wears well all throughout the day, doesn't fade, doesn't do anything weird, nothing. So love those two products. Again, have talked about them incessantly. We'll move on. So Dior came out with new bronzers this past year. And, you know, first of all, they came out with like regular size compacts, like compact like this size, regular size compacts on their site. And then at Sephora, they released the larger size compacts. And I was like, oh, that's so exciting. I love a big bronzer compact, even though, as I just said, I barely like pan products, but I really like being able to use like a giant brush and having a giant pan. And I just love big compacts. You know, I just think they're fun. Anyway, I was excited for that, but they didn't have the full like shade range in the larger compacts. And then they had like a different shade range. Anyway, I got past that. And then what they had on the Dior site was they had some bronzers that were matte, and then some bronzers, I believe they had a soft finish. And that was just a little bit like more satin than the matte, but that didn't really have like a sheen or anything that bold or that obvious. But they didn't release all of that on Sephora. So anyway, it just kind of ended up being like a little bit of a confusing release. And I really liked the soft finish. I didn't really like the matte finish. The matte finish is what they released in the larger ones. They just, I don't know, I always feel like bronzers, like really matte bronzers, always look a little bit just drying on my very, very dry skin. So I'm not gonna be using that today. However, I do like their skin contour sticks. So very, very similar, if not the same formula to the foundation stick. And I use shade 1 Light, which has a very light, very neutral to cool tone to it. And so it's easy to use. It's the correct tone for my skin tone. And the formula is great, like I said, just like the foundation stick. And I much prefer this, not that it's like a one-to-one sort of substitution, but I much prefer this to the bronzer, the powder bronzers. The powder bronzers are much warmer because they're bronzers, they're not contour sticks. I understand that. But I pretty much use them interchangeably. So if I'm gonna use a contour, unless I'm going like doing a full beat, if I'm gonna use a contour, I'm probably not gonna be using a bronzer as well. So anyway, we're gonna be using the contour stick today, and I'm just going in with the same brush, and we're gonna blend this in. Yeah, I like this product much better than the powder bronzers that they came out with. And if you're like me and you kind of use, you know, contours and bronzers interchangeably, I know every makeup artist is like cringing, but if you use them like kind of interchangeably, I much prefer this contour stick to the powder bronzer. Like that would be my recommendation if you were to ask. So that's the contour stick. And then they did also come out with new pressed powders. So I had never ever been a Dior powder fan, loose or pressed. I always found them to be incredibly drying looking. They did what they were supposed to do. You know, they set down your makeup, they mattified, but I think it was just too drying for my dry ass skin, for my aging skin. I never liked it. However, I really like the new Dior Forever Nude Matte Filter pressed powder. So this is in shade 01 Fair, and these have a much softer touch to them. They're not super duper dry looking. They're still matte, but I don't think they're very, very dry looking. So let me go ahead and apply this. I've got my BK Beauty 102 brush, and I'm gonna just kind of start my under eyes. And then just focus it my T-zone where I tend to get shiny. I don't go too overboard with my powder since I have dry skin, but yeah, this powder, it's very nice. It has a much, much softer and lighter touch, I think, than their previous powders. I am hoping that they come out with some loose powder. I think they have, I don't know if they've discontinued their powders, but you know, they've slowly, I feel like slowly been like redoing their entire line, that I feel like maybe loose powder They're going to be redoing their loose powder soon, and I'd be really excited to try that, and hopefully it won't look quite as dry. So yeah, I like this pressed powder. I feel like it looks quite nice. Okay, blushes. My goodness, Dior Dior came out with a lot of blushes. So they came out with their blush stick, and I like the blush sticks. I do. They're just not my favorite blush stick. When I go into my blush stick drawer, I'm always reaching for another one. They're just not my favorite. I prefer the Charlotte Tilbury ones. I prefer the Westman Atelier ones. I now prefer the Make Beauty ones. I prefer the Rhode ones. There's just something about the Dior. It's not just the strange fragrance that they have. They have like a minty fragrance to them. So strange. I don't know. I don't know if it's the way they apply. I mean, they apply okay. Their longevity is fine. There's really nothing wrong with them. I think what it is they don't have a shade that I find to be like spot on. Like this is the one that I've been looking for my entire life. They have like a nude one. Let me get it. Hold on. Okay, I have all of them. And the shade that I was referring to was Toffee. And Toffee is my favorite out of all of these, but all the other shades they're just really punchy. Here, I'm just gonna hold up these two as an example. They're really, really bright. So Toffee is the only one I find to be, I don't know, like the one shade that I feel like I could wear every day. It also has a little bit of a sheen to it. The other ones, most of them, I think except for one other one, but most of them are just like a cream, no sheen. Kind of blush. What is the other one that has the sheen? Oh, I think it's Candy. It's this peach one. It has a little bit of a sheen. Anyway, they're perfectly fine. They're just not my favorite. And I actually prefer their Backstage powder blushes that they came out with. So they redid their like Rosy Glow Backstage blushes, and they changed the shape of them. You know, they used to be like a smaller rectangle. So now they're in this square packaging. And I just like the way these apply a little bit more. They're a little bit more effortless. They have a little bit of a creamy texture. I think there's an improvement of these over the previous rectangle packaged ones. And they just blend out really, really nicely. And I like Candy. This is Candy. And then Toffee. It's the same shades as the stick blushes. But this Toffee is just a really nice nude. I like this Toffee more than the stick Toffee. The stick Toffee has a lot more peach to it. Let me just hold up these two. Yeah, can you see the stick Toffee is much brighter. And when it comes to packaging, I mean, Dior won. The packaging of these is so great, and they actually color-coded all of the different shades. So yeah, I mean, I love seeing them in my cream blush drawer, and it's not like I'll never use them ever again. Or I think, you know, like I said, I don't think they're terrible. They're just not my favorite. They're not my favorite, and I prefer these powder blushes. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply Toffee. I'm gonna use my Refer Shodo 05 brush and go in to the blush. Did I mention, these have an interesting fragrance as well. It's not the same as the blush sticks, but it's just a weird, fragrance. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing or what they were thinking in terms of the fragrance for these new blushes. Maybe they're just trying out something new. I have an odd theory, and let me know if you agree or not down below in the comment section. But because these blush sticks have what I would consider more of a typical lip fragrance, where it's kind of like a vanilla, cocoa, slightly minty fragrance, I feel like, and I think all the colors are really kind of bright. I think these were originally going to be lip products. And what they did was they were like, you know what, let's do blush sticks. And then let's do blush sticks, maybe add some shades and blow them up basically into these. I don't know. It's the fragrance that I think is just so odd. It's so odd to me. So there's Toffee. Isn't that pretty? It does have like a really pretty sheen, and not all of the blushes have a sheen. Again, I think it's just Toffee and Candy that have like a pretty metallic sheen. The others have a more matte appearance. But that is toffee. Okay, enough yip-yapping about the Dior blushes. Let's move on to highlighters. Boy, do I have some strong opinions about their highlighters. The ones that are part of their regular line, these were also redone this past year. So these are the Dior Forever Glow Luminizers. And when these were in the silver packaging and it was all of the hard plastic, this is years ago, I want to say like 7-8 years ago, I thought those were really beautiful. They were baked gel powder, much like these. These are baked gel powder too. But there was something a little bit smoother, I think, in those. These are quite nice. I do like these. I do like these a lot. And I'm gonna apply some right now. I'm gonna use my BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N17 brush. And these are like a very typical gel powder kind of highlight. They have a really high shine and they look very, very wet. So I do like that on occasion. I definitely don't wear a super bright highlight as much these days anymore, but I don't mind. I don't mind. And when I do want a really bright highlighter, I will think of these Dior ones. So I have mentioned this past year so often that the naming of these was really, really odd. I feel like they switched the naming between the gold halo and the nude halo, because this is the gold halo and it's peachier than the nude halo, which looks more gold. So anyway, just my unwanted 2 cents. But yeah, this highlighter is very nice. Now, my strong opinions in regards to the Dior highlighters in general, like the ones that come in the 4-pan with the clear lid. Is that part of the Backstage line? I think so. And then their limited edition holiday one. Basically so many of the Dior highlighters, and even these in daylight, they just have a little bit too much micro glitter. In fact, the limited edition holiday one, I looked at that in store because I wanted to buy it. It was like a glitter bomb. It was too much. And so many of the 4-pan ones are like glitter bombs. I wish they would just tone back the glitter and just leave this like metallic, beautiful sheen. And, you know, thankfully their regular line, these I think have the least amount of like just glitter, like straight up glitter. And you have a lot of this metallic sheen, which I think is very, very beautiful. But yeah, just Dior in general, I feel like they just put too much freaking glitter in the highlighters. I wish they would tone that back a little bit, or just every once in a while, like for the holidays. Okay, I get it. It makes sense. You probably want to have like a little bit of glitter on your face for the holidays, special occasion. I understand. But like in general, like in those 4-pan ones, it was too much. I mean, maybe I'm in the minority there. Let me know what you think down below. But yeah, I just thought it was too much. Too much. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, for brows, I've got my Dior Onset Brow Gel. This one is just about done, but I'm basically gonna use this until the wheels fall off. But I really, really like this brow gel. This has been a long time favorite of mine. And I also like the microfine pencil that is basically like this partner. It's this guy right here. I love this pencil also. The tip is great. The texture of the pencil is really, really great. If you just want to fill in just some bald spots, it's great, great, great for that. So I do like these Dior brow products, some of my favorites. Okay, Dior eyeshadows. Nothing new here. These definitely were mentioned in my last year's video, but I still love, and this is part of their regular line, the Soft Cashmere Quint. I just love it. I think it's a beautiful color story, performs beautifully, texture is great, all of that. And then they have these Mono Color Couture, the Beige Mitza, which is very, very, very similar to the Cosmopolite, which was discontinued. Don't know why. But yeah, these are just gorgeous, gorgeous shadows. I think they perform really well. I think the colors are really, really great. So I'm going to use a combo. I think I've used the Beige Mitza. Have I used it recently for you? Maybe not. But I definitely have not used the Soft Cashmere in a while, so I'm going to put this on today. I've got a Refer brush here. It's actually one of their test brushes, but I'll list down below what it's very similar to. Anyway, it's goat hair. So I'm gonna go into this shade up here, which is very, very similar to the Beige Mitza. Isn't that such a pretty sheen? And Dior, you know, Dior's one of those companies, I feel like over the years, they've reformulated so many of their products. They reformulated the Quince, they reformulated this, which made me very, very nervous. Yeah, and a few of their other things, and they're fine. It's like they're pretty much almost exactly the same. I know so many other companies that will reformulate, and it's like a completely different product, and you're like, what happened? What happened? But yeah, they always do like a really good job with the reformulations. I don't ever feel like, oh, well, forget it now, you know, I can't use this anymore. Okay, there's that shade. Isn't that so pretty? So, so pretty. I'm gonna go into, I was gonna say this one, but maybe I wanna use this center shade on the outer corner. Maybe, let's try that. I feel like I definitely use this shade more than this one. I've got my Refer number 15 brush. Just gonna work that in the outer corner just a little bit here. All right, so eyeshadow is on. In terms of mascara, I do like the Dior, is it the Dior Show mascara? I don't have any right now, but that one is quite, oh no, it's the Iconic Overcurl. That's the one I'm thinking of. I do think maybe it's part of the Dior Show line, but it's the Iconic Overcurl. And that one I really like. And I think that's it. I think a lot of their mascaras are like really geared towards volume, and I prefer the ones that are more about like lengthening and separating. So I'll use a different mascara. And then eyeliners. I do like their 24-hour Stilo eyeliners, but I decluttered them a while ago, and I'm only left with this silver one. It's called Pearly Silver. This is what the packaging looks like. It's got the blender tip at one end. That's what the pencil looks like. I mean, that could work. That could work with today's look. So let me curl my lashes, put on some mascara, and then we'll put on this Pearly Silver. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to line my waterline, my lower waterline, with this Pearly Silver. I think that'll be fun. But they have come out with, and I think still continue to come out with, really cool shades in these eyeliners. There was a holiday collection probably 2 or 3 years ago at this point, or I should say 3 or 4 years ago at this point, where they had really beautiful eyeliners. Do you guys remember that? There was almost like duochrome ones with like a really beautiful metallic shift. Anyway, those were great, but I had to declutter them. I was sad to see them go, but they were definitely too old. Okay, so there's Pearly Silver in my waterline. Let's move on to lips. So many of the Dior lipsticks I don't like to wear because of the fragrance. They're like straight up normal, like matte and satin lipsticks. I don't really like them. They're very, very fragranced. And then they just came out with this past year, the like steel, they're long and skinny lipsticks. They're really beautiful. They're really comfortable. And I remember I got them when I was at my friend's lake house over the summer. And I even thought, well, Michelle, maybe it fades, maybe you get used to it, maybe it's not that big of a deal. And I remember putting that lipstick on and going out for the night. It was the night that we went to the Lady Gaga concert, and we went to Blue Ribbon Sushi for dinner and everything beforehand. And at the concert, I remember, oh my God, like I can still smell this lipstick. It's just too strong. I don't like it. It's a floral fragrance, which for me, like around the mouth is not, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't necessarily love the vanilla, cocoa, birthday cake, whatever that is, but at least that feels a little bit more appropriate around my mouth. Yeah, but when it's floral, I just don't like it. I don't like it. So those are just not my favorite. However, I do have some Dior lip products that I love, and these are the Dior Addict. Oh my God, they all have some sort of Glow Addict lip word in these. It's the Rouge Dior On Stage lipstick, by the way, that I was just talking about. The skinny ones, I don't like. Okay, these are the Dior Addict Shine lipsticks. I like these. They don't have a fragrance. It's these guys. This is the packaging that they come in. And then you can pull them out. This is what they look like. So they have a nice level of pigmentation. I wouldn't say they're just like a tint. Very nice level of pigmentation. They're very comfortable. They have a beautiful like shine finish. And yeah, like a very, oh, this one has like a really, really faint vanilla cocoa birthday cake scent to it. And it's so much more, to me, so much more tolerable than some of their lipsticks. So this is shade 418 Beige Oblique. And I have 2 of these. Don't really know how that happened. I mean, sometimes I buy one and then I get one in PR, I get one in PR, I forget and I buy one, but I purchased both of these. I like it that much. Anyway, yeah, just really comfortable, really beautiful shine. I love these. I really, really love these. Okay, so those are the Dior Addict Shine lipsticks. The other lip product that I like, and this I definitely mentioned in last year's video, are these lip glow oils. I really like this Lemon Glow. It's 098. I'm pretty sure this is called like a Lemon Glow. And then I do like this one also, which is shade 62. Let me remove this Dior Shine. Normally I would probably just top my lipstick with this, but I want you guys to see what this looks like on its own. So there is a little bit of a mintiness to these lip glows, but it fades very quickly. It doesn't linger, not for like hours. And that's the Lemon Glow. Isn't that so pretty? It actually ends up looking very milky on the lips. It doesn't look yellow, and it has just a beautiful sheen. I just love this particular shade so much. This shade doesn't have as much milkiness, but there's more of a tint. Let me just swatch that. It has more of a tint. Of course, you can get the lighter ones. They have one that looks like it's bright pink, but really it's kind of clear. They have one that's like a lighter pink. Again, it's basically kind of clear. But this, I feel like you can actually see it on the lips. There's like enough of a tint to it. And again, this is shade number 62. They don't actually put the name of it on here, but it's shade number 62. But those are my 2 favorite lip glow oils from Dior. And I really like this formula. It's like a thick oil for sure, but it's not sticky at all, which is so great. So great. All right, so that is a full face of my Dior favorites, a long chat about some of my favorites, some products I don't like and why I don't like them. Please let me know your thoughts on Dior beauty products down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe down below, and I will see you in tomorrow's Mishmas video. Bye.